Hello, welcome to the new video. Today I want to talk to you about the strangest cars. I hope you like them. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go to the video. Some cars on this list will make you wonder what their creator was thinking, and some may appeal to your sense of fun. Sadly, not all of them are available to the general public, so if you fall in love with the P car, you're out of luck. In 1886, the beginning of a transportation revolution took place. The German inventor Carl Benz patented his Benz patent motor wagon, the world's first practical automobile. From that moment on, the world of automobiles has developed at a staggering speed. In 2021 alone, an estimated 66.7 million cars have been sold worldwide. They have become one of the most popular means of transportation, with significant impacts on the way we create cities and infrastructure in general. In more recent decades, their impact on climate change has become more apparent, signaling new challenges for the automobile industry. Over the years, countless innovative and unusual car designs have been developed, with more than a handful raising eyebrows. Here are some of the wackiest automobiles, from tiny bubble cars to futuristic vehicles that would fit perfectly into a science fiction movie. Number 1.
Layat Helica.
In the early days of car production, new ideas were flying around, with designers sometimes coming up with truly bizarre creations. Following World War I, the biplane designer Marcel Layat decided to combine his expertise from the aviation industry with the world of automobiles. The 1921 Layat Helica can be best described as a mini aeroplane without wings, with the most striking feature being a massive propeller in the front. The design was unsurprisingly deemed unsafe, and only around 20 units were ever sold. Number 2. Ferrari Modulo. One may be mistaken to think this car was from a 1960s science fiction movie, but the Ferrari Modulo was designed by Paolo Martin and displayed at the 1970 Geneva Motor Show. Its strange angles and curves give the automobile a spaceship feel, like something out of Star Trek. Only one was ever produced. It was then sold to the American car enthusiast James Glickenhaus in 2014. Number 3. Peel P50. The tiny Peel P50 was produced from 1962 to 1965 by the Peel Engineering Company on the Isle of Man. It was designed as a city car, with advertisement slogans announcing that it had enough room for one person and a shopping bag. The car is so small, in fact, that it can fit through normal doorways, enter buildings, and it can be quite easily lifted by one person. Approximately 45 Peel P50s were sold in the 1960s. After 50 years, production of this curious automobile restarted in 2011, though the number of cars sold each year remains quite small, at around 15. Number 4. The Pope Mobile. One of the most famous and unique cars in the world, the Pope Mobile is a specially designed motor vehicle used by the head of the Catholic Church during public appearances. There have been multiple designs, with some allowing the Pope to sit while others are designed for him to stand, though all share a common goal: protecting the head of the Catholic Church from any outside force. The introduction of a reinforced vehicle followed a failed assassination attempt of Pope John Paul II in 1981. Number 5. L'Oeuf Électrique. The plans of this egg-shaped automobile came from the industrial designer Paul Arzens. There was only one ever made in 1942, and it was used by Arzens as his personal car. The automobile was meant to reflect his ideas of what the future could look like. It's also worth mentioning that the car was fully electric, partly caused by the lack of petrol following the German occupation of northern France. Number 6. Wiener Mobile. The amusingly named Wiener Mobile is shaped like a hot dog on a bun, promoting and advertising Oscar Mayer products in the United States. A driver of this type of automobile is called the hot dogger. The original vehicle was created in 1936, before being used for scrap metal during World War II. In the 1950s, several new vehicles were created for the company. Even today, one might spot a Wiener Mobile driving on the streets of the United States. Number 7. Messerschmitt KR200. The Messerschmitt KR200, also known as a Kabinenroller, was in production from 1955 to 1964. It is a three-wheeled bubble car, a term used for the smallest cars, designed by the aircraft engineer Fritz Fend. The curious-looking automobile was an initial success, selling almost 12,000 in its first year of production, with potentially the most famous buyer being Elvis Presley. Production of the model eventually stopped due to dropping sales numbers in 1964. In total, around 30,286 units of Messerschmitt KR200 cars were sold. Number 8.
Stout Scarab.
Designer William Stout, who worked as an aircraft engineer before turning to automobiles, was a pioneer in integrating luxury and leisure into transportation. Stout Airlines is credited with introducing flight attendants and in-flight meals. The Scarab draws on that idea. It's a road-going diner car powered by a Ford V8 tucked in the rear of the stretched aluminum body. The brand never took off, partly because at $5,000, about $90,000 today, the Scarab was more expensive than the Packards and Cadillacs of those days. Fewer than 10 were produced. Number 9.
Wolf Electric.
The 1942 Wolf Electric, or electric egg, had three wheels and ran on batteries decades after gasoline became the dominant way to power cars, and decades before Elon Musk decided to make electricity cool again. Its designer, Parisian Paul Arzens, worked as a painter and designed railway locomotives before moving on to cars. The bubble is made of hand-formed aluminum and curved plexiglass, a novel material at the time. Number 10.
Norman Tim Special.
No other automobile looks like the 1947 Norman Tim Special, with its front-mounted cockpit and curves leading to a raindrop tail. Timms, an Indy racing engineer, made the car with a Buick Straight 8 engine placed at the rear of the chassis. Look to racers like the 1937 Auto Union Type C for indications of Timms' inspiration. Number 11. Bugatti Type 57S Competition Coupe Aerolive. The original example of the 1935 Bugatti Type 57S Competition Coupe Aerolive, which debuted at the Paris Auto Show in 1935, was lost after the unveiling. The popular explanation is that Bugatti disassembled it for parts to make the Type 57 production car that followed. The model on display is a recreation produced in 2007, based on recorded specs, photographs, and an oil painting by a Bugatti engineer. Number 12. Ford Speedster. The 1932 Ford Speedster, packing a flathead V8 engine, came with a starter button, decades before the feature became standard automotive fare. The low, long roadster was the brainchild of Henry's son Edsel Ford and designer Eugene Gregory. Number 13.
Tasco.
This 1948 Tasco was made under a short-lived brand called the American Sports Car Company. The car's name is an acronym for the manufacturer. Gordon Bierig, formerly of Duesenberg, took design inspiration from World War II fighter planes. The fiberglass covering the front wheels moved with the steering input. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.